Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk Power Live, our summer power chat series, where we talk to one education author about one book and about one big idea. Summertime is when educators are not as much in the building as they usually are. And we thought it'd be a good idea to help our educators continue their learning. So we brought together some fantastic education leaders who are about the business of helping us grow, deepen our understanding across a wide variety of topics. I'm Dr. Tangi Reed Marshall, your host for Let's Talk Power Live and your host for the summer power chats that we're having across the summer. This week, for this chat, I am very excited to bring to our stage Dr. John C. Turner. He's the founder of the DocChat Network, CEO, founder of JT Educational Counseling. He's the lead author of the Doctor Talker. And I want to give you some more information about him. His book, his network, has served more than 2,000 doctoral students and doctors worldwide. Through his work, Dr. Turner creates opportunities for students, educators, families, organizations, and institutions to grow, connect, and reach their goal. His work has been featured on platforms such as the Good Men Project, Living Education e-magazine, Jamie, and the Edu Ledger. His work is worldwide. He has served as institutions of University of Notre Dame, University of Illinois, Virginia's community colleges, Cognia, Graphy, YMCA, and the United Nations. And he is alma mater of Bishop Charter High School, Indiana State University, and Indiana University of Indianapolis. Welcome to our time, Dr. Turner. It is such a pleasure to have you join us. As y'all can see in the background, he is also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Welcome to our summer power chat, Dr. Turner.
Dr. Teji, how are you? Just an honor to be on with you. Thank you for the invite. I'm excited about this conversation.
All right, well, then let's go ahead and get into it. First question. When you wrote this book, who did you have in mind?
Yeah. Definitely Black doctoral students and Black doctors. That was the first and foremost. If you look at your statistics, there are a lot of times some of the very least number individuals that get doctoral degrees done. Now, shout out to the Black women, though. Y'all get it done. Y'all get it done. And
We're
that
not
is
playing out in
exciting.
these streets.
And it's just making sure we encourage through the Dr. Talker book more Black doctors to get their doctoral degrees. And that's who we had in mind when we wrote this book. Myself, along with 5 other Black doctors, came together and to share not just our doctoral journey, but our life journey, what we went through in our lives before we even said, I think I can become a doctor. I think I can become this. And I'm telling you, it has truly impacted and changed lives in a positive way around the world.
So let's dig in a little bit. This idea of our Black women doctors and our Black male doctors, both of us are entering at the same. What are some of the critical shifts that make our Black women finish at a higher rate versus our Black males?
I mean, it's just support. The support that Black women not only give out, but also that they get from one another is
Mm,
unparalleled. And that comes not just in getting degrees, that comes in corporate life, that comes in religious life, all those different types of aspects. Nobody does it better than Black women. I try to show people a lot, especially on LinkedIn. You got to look at y'all will have a brunch in a minute. Y'all will have a conference in a minute. Y'all will
yeah.
come together in a minute. Way better than Black men can. And you know what that does? That pushes Black women to reach their goals, especially to get those doctoral degrees. And so that's
Interesting.
why it's so amazing to see. I wish Black men just had a little bit of that, a little bit of that passion, that gumption, that push to get each other to the finish line better. And I was blessed to have 2 Black males that were with me. We started together and we all finished together. And it was such a great thing to see us do it, but it's not as common as Black women. Black women, y'all set the benchmark of support to get to that doctoral finish line.
So look, we in and we are out. Yeah, that's so funny because for those of you watching, we thank you. Before we came live, Dr. Turner and I were talking, and I said I got mine done. I got my PhD done in 2 years and 8 months, door to door. And people are like, "What on earth were you doing?" Listen, I had roller skates on. I was not playing out here.
That's
Um,
right. That's
so
right.
as we think about what you just said, I want us to dig a little bit into the connection to a K-12 landscape, right? What problem, what tension, or what pattern in education might your book or does your book and your partner's books, what does it address?
Yeah, and it definitely addressed the unfortunate non-matriculation of
Mm-hmm.
Black students when it comes to completing doctoral degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Because the big thing is it's usually 50-50. So that is just the overall number across the board. 50% of people do not finish doctoral degrees.
Wow.
That number is higher for Black students, no matter if you're Black women or Black men.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the thing we wanted to address. What is the holdup? And we know, and Dr. Chan, we're not just going in with the problems of, oh, we don't understand all of the nuances of qualitative, quantitative research and all those different types of things. No, we have life stuff that we deal with, especially in America. You're talking about being in spaces where there's not many of us at all that have ever went into it. We have to realize
Mm-hmm.
there's only 2% of the
2%
world
of the
that
whole
have
world.
ever even become a doctor. So that number for us is even lower. So it's hard to be what you never have been able to see. And so that's why we always wanted to address that problem. Let's show the world that we're out here as doctors. And as we did that with the book, it's just opened up the gambit to so many people to say, hey, I think I can do this. I think I can
Yeah.
go for this. And we're glad about it.
That's really interesting because I read recently, and you are hearing it as am I, and it's really frustrating. This new conversation, well, not even new, but it's a revised conversation
There you go. There you go.
about college not being worth it. And that
Mm,
conversation is hitting home
gotcha.
in our community.
Right.
And the message is being sent, well, don't go because you're going to get into a lot of debt. So don't go because of these reasons. You're going to spend 4 years and you're going to come out with a degree that you can't get a job for.
Right.
And how does your book disrupt some of those assumptions or those messages?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a living witness that, God could do anything. I was working at a community college, and Indiana University in Indianapolis came to that community college, said, "Do you have anybody that wants to go for this PhD in urban education studies?" I said, "Yes." Ivy Tech Community College said, "We'll pay for it."
Oh,
I
wow.
said, "We'll say less." And
Say, right.
so
Stop
I
talking.
was I'm gonna tell you, I was blessed to have my PhD paid for, and it was just an incredible honor to be able to do so. So that's something we want to address too, that there's avenues for you to get your degree paid for. There's assistantships, there's fellowships, all those different types of things. And sometimes we don't know those different types of things. We're thinking, oh, I just need a scholarship to go get a doctorate. Well, there's not necessarily what you would consider scholarships getting doctoral degrees, but there are other avenues, and so we want people to look at those. Plus, if you go into a type of doctoral degree program that doesn't have a lot of us in it, a lot of times they'll have dollars for us to come into it and be able to do it. Plus, you can look overseas, Africa and London and all those different types of places. A lot of times they look for Black individuals to come and get doctoral degrees, and especially number one area, which is big, is STEM. Anything STEM, we want more Black people to get into those areas, and they would love to have more Black people in those areas. So there are avenues, and that's what we try to address to
Mm-hmm.
get your doctorate degree paid for, so you don't have to go in a lot of debt. Now, we have to remember what our great President Barack Obama said. Getting a degree, that's an investment in yourself. So you understand, you pull out a little money. The hope is that you would be able to get into a career that would be able to help you pay those loans back if you have those loans. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to be strategic. We don't want people to just say, "Oh, I want to go get a doctorate degree just to become a doctor." Don't do that, because most
Please,
of those people never get done. They
please
never
don't
do.
do that. Please, please, please do not do that. I tell
Yeah,
people, when people ask me, well, why did you do it? And I
yeah.
say, I did it because I needed to get some learning and some skills that my master's degree alone did not afford me. I had a wonderful experience getting my master's degree, wonderful professors, and a wonderful institution, but there was still something I wanted to do
Yeah.
that having a PhD really gave me the ability to do. One thing I want to talk to you about is we see a lot in education, a PhD versus an EDD. So
Mhm.
you and I both have PhDs,
Yep.
right? But in education, they have EDDs. What's the difference?
Yeah, and the simple difference is your PhD is going to get you that type of research-minded mindset to be able to solve and figure out problems. Your EDD is your practitioner,
Mhm.
that practitioner scholar that's putting the practice in, that's putting the work in, putting those different things typed together. So, as an education individual, you're looking to expand and impact education in that way. And it is a very good question you ask because we get that a lot from a lot of individuals. You have to realize that it's what you want to do with it. If you know education is your jam, you just want to stay in that area, you want to rise up in those practitioner type areas, that's fine. Honestly, if you really want to be that strategic, big time thought leader, author, that type of individual who is creating at a high level that is changing landscapes and minds and all those different types of things, that's when you go for your PhD. Now, we gonna get people that argue about that all day. Well, in my EDD, I did this, in my PhD, I did. We get it, but it's very important to know, especially time wise, because a lot of times PhD is going to be a lot more investment and it's going to take a lot more to get done. So that's why we want individuals to know those different types.
Yeah, yeah. Because your average PhD is at least 6 years,
That's correct. That's
right?
correct.
Six
Yeah.
years. And when I was at Virginia Tech, there was a young man. He was on year 7,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and he was about to have to start over because
Yeah.
at that time, Virginia Tech was like, if you're not done in 7 years, you have to start your program from the beginning.
Ooh,
I was like, sir, I'm gonna need you to
that's
graduate.
wild.
No, they were like, no, 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 you got to start over.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
start over.
wild right
Yeah,
there.
can you
That's
imagine
wild.
that? So if we think
No.
about this, we talked about the assumptions, we talked about the additions, the ideas that you really were trying to address. If I'm a K-12er, I've been in the
Mhm.
game for a while, I want to take my ideas to the next level. What is something that your book, even if I'm not going to go get my PhD, what is one way your book can help me do my job better?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is looking at the different ways that you could utilize a doctorate degree. And even if
Mhm.
you don't, we have individuals go get EDMs, that kind of management type education type degree that's on top
Mhm.
of a master's.
Yep.
Individuals get that.
Mhm.
You have to really look at your end game. And it's something that sometimes people don't realize that I'm not trying to tell you not to go get it, but if you just don't need it, don't hurt yourself because you might hurt yourself.
You might.
Because yeah, a doctorate degree really exposes a lot of who you are, and that thing has really, I'm not gonna say it's messed with people mentally, but it's brought out some things that maybe they didn't know was there inside of them, and that they had to realize, okay, maybe I need to take care of myself first before I go get this thing. And so that's what we want educators to know. Make sure it's something that you're prepared to go get, you're ready to go get, and it's something that you know it's going to be useful for you in the end, because it's nothing worse than seeing individuals say, "Oh, I got my doctorate degree, I'm not doing nothing with it." And that's something they should have really looked at before they went to go do it. That's for sure.
Yeah. I will definitely say is shout out Virginia Tech because we had a course, one of our courses, every meeting it was like a survey course, but it's really geared towards helping the doc students figure
Okay,
out what they wanted. And
that's
you
beautiful.
really had to come out of that course with a much clearer understanding of
Yeah,
what you were trying to do and
yeah,
how you were really trying to use or put into practice what you were aiming to do with your doctorate. And so
Yeah.
I will say shout out to Virginia Tech for that. It was very clear.
Love
It's
that.
it's an R1 institution, so they were very used to, that kind of get your mindset on
Mhm.
what it is you're trying to do with this doctorate. How do you want to use it? Why are you here? Which
Absolutely.
was very, very helpful, for just being focused,
Yeah.
just really, really being focused. As we bring our time, I want us to think about this idea of power. The work I do centers educational decisions as a power decision.
Mhm.
Everything we make is a power decision.
Right.
How does the work you and your team and your colleagues set out in this book, how does it address the use of educational power as a lens for doing this kind of doc work?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me was knowing that my bachelor's degree was for my mother. She passed away
Okay.
when I was 13 years old, and her dream for me was just to go get a college degree, and I did that.
Okay.
My master's was for me. I wanted to do education work, student affairs, so I did that, and my bachelor's was in electronics technology. But my PhD, Indianapolis, Indiana, my hometown, Indiana University, Indianapolis, that was for God's people. And
Interesting.
that's what I want people to understand. When you go for that doctorate degree, it's not for you, it's for everybody else.
Yes.
Everybody else. And that's the power of it. And that's what we wanted to showcase in this book, The Dr. Talker. We wanted to showcase how much your brand, your excellence, your impact expands when you go get that doctorate degree. And it has shown leaps and bounds how many articles we've written, how many other books we've been featured in, how many stages we've talked on, how our brands have built. And now I have the DocChat Network, which we have a network of doctors all over the world who just connect and help the next generation of doctors get through. But also, we help each other with job opportunities. We help each other with speaking opportunities. We just had one of our doctors in the DocChat Network. She just did a TEDx in Africa last year. We had a Fulbright scholar. We've had individuals that have just their dreams have become unlimited. Just incredible authors, speakers, podcast hosts, and that is what we want people to understand. When you get that doctorate degree, your impact is powerful. That's why I appreciate this chat today with you, Dr. Tangi, because this is that powerful chat that people need to hear, and I appreciate it so much.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I'm going to be part of the Doc Network soon.
That's it. That's it.
Absolutely. Can't wait to be partnering with you. Well, folks, that brings us to the end. It has been a pleasure. One ed author, one book, and one big idea. So please make sure that you get your copy of the Dr. Talker from Dr. John C. Turner and his partners. The forward is by Terrell Strayhorn. Get it and learn about, what? It could be your journey. Your power could be centered in getting your PhD so that you can make the kind of impact you want on the world. And when you want to get a hold of Dr. Turner, where can they find you?
Yep, you can definitely find me on LinkedIn, Dr. John C. Turner, also on YouTube. You can check out our great episodes of the Doc Chat on YouTube as well. That's where I am. That's where I be. Come see me. Come holler at me. We
All
appreciate you.
all right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this power chat, and we'll see you soon.